One thing is very clear. The Indiana Fever is America's team. And boy, the haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. I mean, it's going to be hilarious watching the daily meltdown.
Clark isn't just breaking records. She's changing the entire landscape of the WNBA. Teams like Atlanta, Chicago, Connecticut, Dallas, Las Vegas, and Washington are stepping away from their regular home courts, all to accommodate the unstoppable force that is the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Somewhere, Angel Reese is probably scrolling through her phone, frustrated that it's not her name lighting up those billboards. At the same time, A'ja Wilson might be back on social media, calling for the respect she's long deserved, while Clark secures an astonishing 41 nationally televised games. That's not just a schedule, it's a full-blown coronation.
Caitlin Clark is going to spend all of next season playing in the NBA arenas. We've got rival fans being furious that, you know, Caitlin Clark is she's getting new arenas, getting moved to new arenas. You got people saying that they're pushing the Fever. Why are they pushing the...
Let's take a moment to appreciate what's happening. The WNBA is witnessing a shift like never before, and it's all because of Caitlin Clark. Who would have thought teams would willingly leave their familiar home courts just to prepare for one player's arrival? Yet here we are. 6 franchises are moving their games into NBA-level arenas, meaning every Indiana Fever matchup, home or away, will now take place in venues that seat at least 15,000 fans. Not as a nice gesture, but because Clark has become a one-person ticket-selling phenomenon. While most of the league still plays in smaller venues, Clark's presence demands NBA-sized stages. Think about that, 6 teams upgrading their spaces just for these matchups. These aren't small changes, they're major moves. The Atlanta Dream is shifting to the Hawks to Tate Farm Arena. The Chicago Sky, who last year tried to frame Angel Reese as the main attraction, are now hosting 2 games at the Imagate Center, both thanks to Clark. Outside of those Fever games, Reese likely won't appear there. Even the Las Vegas Aces, home of A'ja Wilson, are booking the massive T-Mobile Arena to match the growing excitement surrounding the Indiana Fever.
There are 6 WNBA teams that have moved their games to NBA or NBA size.
What's funny is that just a year ago, these same teams were brushing off Caitlin Clark's arrival like it was no big deal, claiming they didn't need her, that the league was already doing just fine. But now, their actions say it all. This isn't just rolling out the red carpet, they're repaving the entire road just to make way for her.
Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games to the United Center, home of the Bulls, home of the Blackhawks. In Atlanta, by the way, that's the home of the Hawks. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden, home of the NBA Celtics. That's going to look really freaking cool on TV.
Connecticut deserves a special shout-out here. They don't even have a nearby NBA arena, but for Caitlin Clark, they're packing up and heading all the way to Boston to play at TD Garden. That's a whole different city just to host 1 game. You know your impact is real when teams are willing to outsource their home games to another zip code. Now imagine if Angel tried to pull the same move. They'd be lucky to get bumped up to a high school gym.
Teams have moved 1 game to American Airlines Center, home of the Mavs and the Stars. Las Vegas Aces have moved 1 game to the T-Mobile Arena, home of the NHL's Golden Knights. And the Mystics have 2 games moved to CFG Bank Arena. All right? 6 teams have all moved their home games to ones with larger capacity.
There are teams that might average 3,000 fans a game, but when Caitlin Clark and the Fever roll into town, suddenly those numbers jump to 17,000. So where are all the doubters now? The same voices that once complained about the hype have gone quiet. Their arenas are packed, the ratings are climbing, all thanks to the very player they refuse to acknowledge. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is likely still frustrated that her big, undefeated championship run never drew this kind of spotlight. And A'ja Wilson, she's posting cryptic tweets while her own team shifts venues to accommodate the Clark effect.
We're now at the stage where Caitlin Clark is probably going to be responsible. I'm not joking when I say this. For like games where she plays in, probably going to be responsible for like 30% of the attendance in the WM.
Before Caitlin Clark's rise, WNBA games averaged around 6,000 fans. But now, she's out here packing 20,000-seat arenas like it's routine. That's triple the usual crowd. Fans aren't showing up just for the teams. They're coming to see her. Even league executives have admitted they'd rather give up home court advantage than miss the revenue boost that comes with her presence. This isn't just a hot ticket, it's a gold mine in a jersey. People say Caitlin Clark moves the needle, but that's not quite right. She is the needle. She sets the tone. We all know her impact on the court is historic, but what she's doing off the court is just as groundbreaking. Last season, WNBA attendance jumped by 48%, and it's no mystery who carried that surge: Caitlin. Teams aren't just slotting her games into the schedule anymore, they're building their entire seasons around her. Las Vegas didn't just relocate one game, they moved multiple matchups to the T-Mobile Arena, all for the Clark effect. And that's coming from the same Aces squad that pretends she's not even a threat. Yet every time she's in town, they're booking a bigger stage.
There are teams that are going to average 3,000 fans at games, but have 17,000 fans. Caitlin Clark shows it's not.
Now we got some fresh info and a bit of perspective to go with it. The Indiana Fever just announced it. All eyes on us. And they're not kidding. Out of their 44 games this season, 41 will be nationally televised. But if you thought teams moving arenas was wild, the TV coverage takes it to another level. Caitlin Clark is set for 41 national broadcasts this season. That's more airtime than some entire WNBA franchises have had over the past decade. ESPN, ABC, CBS, NBA TV, they're all scrambling to get a piece of the Caitlin spotlight.
Phoenix Mercury play in the NBA arena. The Seattle Storm do. There are 13 WNBA teams, 7 already playing NBA arenas. The other 6 are moving their games to NBA arenas versus the Fever. You can't acknowledge that she is the needle mover. Yeah.
Last season, the Indiana Fever went from an afterthought to a ratings powerhouse, setting viewership records across the league. Now, they become the crown jewel of national broadcasts. It's a stunning turnaround. A team that once struggled to win is now front and center in prime time, and that has to sting for players like Aja and Angel, who likely thought the spotlight was theirs for the taking. Instead, they're watching Caitlin Clark dominate the narrative, shatter ratings, and lock in the top TV slots. Clark didn't just boost attendance, she completely redefined how the WNBA approaches broadcasting. Her games consistently hit the million-viewer mark like it's nothing, and now the networks are locked in a frenzy, scrambling for Caitlin content like it's Black Friday at Best Buy.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
Now we've got some more information on the games and some perspective. Here we are. Indiana Fever put this out, man, just a few minutes ago. All eyes on us. 41 of our 44 games are on national television. The most television games in franchise history. The most national television games in for a single team in WNBA history. How about also just came out? This is the national broadcast schedule right here against the Sky. It's an ABC broadcast network television game. New York Liberty, it's a CBS game. These are all going to be big rated games. CBS against the Sky. ABC against the Liberty. So you're seeing the teams that move the needles that they're going to play. That should draw some ratings anyway. I'm not going to say these other teams move the needles because they really...
More and more fans to this league, people that have maybe never watched the WNBA before, and it kind of takes your breath away.
WNBA needs to do everything they can to promote Caitlin Clark. And I'm not saying do it at the expense of anyone else. But they went into last season basically trying to promote anyone but Caitlin Clark for I don't know what. Really tried to do it to promote anyone but Caitlin Clark. And that made no sense. Because for the long-term growth of the league, you can't just promote one player. But promote Paige, promote Caitlin, promote literally what they should be doing. You should be promoting every single player in this league. But not And again, don't promote Caitlin Clark at the expense of the league, but also promote Caitlin Clark. Promote everyone more. Promote Caitlin Clark constantly. Promote all these players constantly. Promote rivalries constantly. Promote these big games constantly.
America's team, yeah, guys, I mean, let's just be honest. This is exactly what they do in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. All right, this is exactly what they're going to do, and they do every year with the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because they draw. This is because of Angel Reese. That's good. That's really good. Seriously, no, not at all. The Caitlin Clark effect is